Hi everyone, this is the fourth video in a series of videos looking at staff sparring. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I suggest watching them first. I'll post links in the description below. In this part we're going to be sparring with Rattan staves. Same as in the other videos, I'll let it all play through and then I'll break it down at the end in slow motion. So we start with me on the left wearing black shoes, Raj is on the right wearing white shoes. Let's start with this clip where Raj comes for a thrust and I parry. He then follows up with an attack down my left side. The parry comes up a lot when training in Aikido, and the Rattan staff is the closest material out of all three in trying to replicate the oak jo, which we'd normally be training with. With it being light and having a bit of flex, it's way more forgiving than oak. In combination with protection, you can see here Raj strikes my hand and we carry on without injury. With an oak staff, that just wouldn't happen. So in this next part, no one lands a strike. However, I wanted to point out a few things that are worth considering. I go for a strike and hit the end part of Raj's staff, which is holding in one hand. It then ricochets and hits the opposite end. If this was a solid oak jo, I think it'd be very difficult to block with this part of the staff. The Rattan staff has a lot of flex, not as much as the plastic and jo, but with it being extremely light it seems to bounce a lot, which reduces the amount of power that can be delivered. For sparring it's obviously good, but as a downside it changes how the staff can be used. For those that train with oak jos, you'll know the amount of power that can be generated, and if you parry one-handed, you're likely to get your staff knocked out of your hand. In this clip there's several exchanges, although no strikes are landed. There are three instances where Raj goes for one-handed strikes and I block. Looking back at it now, I had several opportunities to counter. As soon as Raj changes his position I go for a strike to his knee, however I'm still out of range. There's definitely a better feeling on contact when striking with Rattan. I think it creates more awareness. With the foam and plastic I'd normally try things out, however here I've been a bit more cautious and waited for an opening. When the strikes came in I could have countered with a one-handed strike down Raj's left side, as he's left open here. Obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, and this is another reason why it's useful to film yourself sparring, as you can reflect on what you've done and how you can improve. So here Raj goes for my leg and misses, and I follow up with a thrust which is parried, and then I finish off with a strike to Raj's elbow. If you can see, we're both maintaining a distance from each other, and when one attacks the other one moves back. However, when my strike lands on Raj, it's because I've also moved in and slightly offline at the same time as him coming forward. This is something that's often trained in Aikido. So if you've seen the second part in this series, you will have seen a combination of movements similar to that in this clip. I won't go through explaining it again, so you can check it out if you haven't done so already. I'll also be covering some common themes in the next part in this series. Similar to the clip I played at the beginning, you can see Raj striking down my left side. I can't make out whether he got my hand or just the staff, but just wanted to pause the clip so you can see the flex on the staff. It may seem like quite a lot, but I think it's just the right amount of flex to take out some of the impact, but not too much that the staff feels floppy and dead. For those that are familiar with Aikido, the 12th Suburi is a one-handed strike, Katata Tomeuchi. This is featured a lot throughout the sparring. This is normally done right-handed, however I wanted to point out that we practice everything on both sides, which provides a lot more options and opens up a lot more possibilities. This last part shows number 20 from the 31 count kata. It appears a few times where I drop down and go for a strike to Raj's knee. So after my thrust, Raj comes back and I leave my guard slightly down, giving him an opening. It's subtle to see, but I feint to go high and get the timing right as I drop as he starts to raise. Also this time I'm in distance and I'm out of the way of Raj's strike. So with regards to the Rattan staff, the flexibility is just right in my opinion, and with a smooth hard surface the handling is good, and so is the feedback when you strike another staff. It creates enough caution and awareness about being hit, however with protection and control the risk of injury is minimal. The downside is the staff feels really light, which does compromise technique, however that's the trade-off if we're wanting to spar safely. The next video will be the last in the series. I'll be giving a summary of all three types of staff we've tested, and I'll also be looking at Aikido movements that seem to be coming up a lot in sparring. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe and share. Until next time, take care.